welcome to session 3 of Slouching towards Eldemy.
Slouching. Like how you said that.
On Halloween!
Ooh! Very scary.
Is your mic muted?
No, it's on. It's it should be good.
We good?
Really? Try now.
Yep, now.
Oh, yeah, I had you muted. All right.
We've been doing this how long now? You
I don't
always
know.
mute me. I
I
get a
don't-
complex if you keep that up.
It might be intentional. All right.
Unintentionally intentional, yeah.
So, would someone like to... my name is Stu, and I'm the GM for this game, Slouching Towards Eldemy, which takes place in GURPS 4th edition. Yeah.
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 And the players.
Oh, I'm Stork. Who am I playing? Phade Drawlight, a medieval wizard detective.
And I'm Kris, playing Thilde Vestergaard, mage. Just sort of, nice person. Just nice. Yeah, how are you? Nice.
And I'm Africa, and I'm playing Ziegler the Beagle Armstrong, brawler and bodyguard extraordinaire with a new speech impediment.
Right.
It's in my notes. You cover it.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So does anyone want to sort of summarize what happened in the last session? Oh, go ahead.
Okay. When we started last time, we were on our way to the vision of the cap guy in a hut by the road. So we're there. It's a ceramic hut. Nighttime. And within the hut are 4 zombies, right? One of them is the cap guy. We have combat. And in it, Ziegler gets holes in his face when Dale shot him.
Right. That's right.
Friendly fire.
They actually failed.
It's amazing, because you were, in one combat, you were the victim of 2 critical failures.
Yep. Yep. That was an epic series of rolls.
Yes.
It's GURPS, too.
It is GURPS, yeah.
It punishes you.
Yep.
And I healed one of them, and so you're sort of woofling on one side for a while.
Yep.
Eventually, all the zombies were killed. Let's see. Oh, I did a diagnosis on the zombies. They were not created by the zombie spell. They were some other kind of enchantment. Let's see. Dale, after he shot Ziegler in the face, found some healing mushrooms. There are signs of disapparition in the hut. We take the zombies back to the Citadel. We wake Jostamir, who says that the gap in the wards, remember outside the king's bedroom, has been known for generations. Phade does the Seeker spell on the King's Blood, which really he should have done beforehand.
I should have opened it. Should have led with that spell. Would have saved Ziegler the new
arrow through the cheeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we all learn. He sees a strange city with a statue of a woman, which we apparently are told or realize, I don't remember how. It's Amana. Let's see. Oh, Jostamir, when examining the zombies, says that they were possessed. Their souls are not there. I wrote down within 5 to 6 hours of Emperor's Citadel. I don't know what that means. And there are burn marks on the back of the neck from magical damage. Okay, so we decided to go to Amana, and the way are going to get there is the skipping mirrors. We're going to take a skipping mirror to Cordell Mountain. And Jostamir gives us a letter that will allow us passage back through the mirror. We go through the mirror, we wind up in this cave that used to belong to a dragon. The guard there, says hello, and then we all go and look through the telescope, the magical telescope, scope things out. We can see where we're going, and then we awkwardly make our way down the very, 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 very steep mountain in a number of entertaining ways.
Some of us take more damage than others.
Homer falling down the stairs for 2.5 hours.
This is my moment to shine,
All right. So, if I recall correctly, we left the last session when you guys basically got to the sort of the base camp.
Yeah, we came and got me dinner.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Having some hot dish.
And you can tell that this is an area where people camp here a lot.
That's right. You said that.
The shift changes from the watched cave.
People always show up at night and they're like, "I'm not climbing that in the dark."
Right. So there's a set area where there's a fire pit that someone has put a bunch of rocks and cleared the area.
It's
out
like a
and
rest area.
It is.
Like on the highways.
Yeah.
It's got bathrooms.
Yeah, it's a rest stop.
It's got like a little sign.
There probably is a trench dug somewhere with a couple of like smoothed logs.
Yeah, maybe a post or two where you can hitch a horse if you have to.
Right, exactly. So, so you guys set off, and
Wait. Do we get XP for that last?
Sure.
Yeah.
How much do we get?
Let's see. How about 3?
Okay.
And
alright.
and I will just make a note. Need to tell Jose that you get 3. You can get a spare one for getting 2.
Oh, thank God. Thank you.
2 critical failure.
I may buy some hit points with that.
And so wait.
Or maybe by luck.
So we
It's
can't.
You know, that's
expensive,
not
though.
a bad idea. Yeah. There are many ways this can go that can hopefully only benefit me.
So this would be our 3rd day since we.
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah,
Okay.
Second night, third day.
sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm only concerned because the longer we wait, the more they're gonna.
Yeah.
Right.
The more time they're going to have to.
Now, as some of you at home may notice, there's no Jose. This is going to be sort of like a side quest, so just so everyone knows. Your trip into to the little village of Through, which I don't know what I was thinking when I named it.
Just pass.
Probably because it's a place
You're
you
just
pass
passing
through, or there may have been a second part to the name that's covered up by the trees in the forest.
Are we going to do the challenge thing? Remember at the beginning of the sessions you wanted to set?
Oh,
like,
that's right. Yes,
Son
yeah.
of a gun. Right.
I don't. Let me see
I
what
didn't
we
come
have.
up with any. I just remembered that we're supposed to have them.
Yeah.
Oh, very low on. Probably because it's Halloween. We're very low on streamers. We'll wait, or on viewers. We'll
Okay.
wait until our next session to do that. Just so people at home know, we're going to start having sort of like awards, like goofy awards, for each session. But we're not going to do it this week because there's not enough people to vote. So we'll do it in 2 weeks. So if you want to watch live and either possibly help us come up with categories for these awards or vote on them when the time comes, you can do that. Like worst die victim
Right, there you go.
would have been
Yeah,
you
yeah.
from last session. Right.
Best critical fail.
Right.
Most damage taken falling downstairs.
Biggest dumpster fire.
Right.
Dumpster fire. Yeah.
Biggest cheek holes. Yeah.
Very specific. They can get very
yeah,
specific.
absolutely. Yeah.
And as long as they're ridiculous.
Yes, that's the main point. And they will each award will come with an additional experience point. That's the whole point. So the next morning when you guys head out toward Through, the trip is for the most part uneventful. The only thing that happened during the night is something got into your food supply. So all of your like dried meats and the hardtack and all of that stuff looks like it might have been like raccoons or possums or some small rodent sort of thing went and chewed through a lot.
Kobolds.
Maybe. So you have what's his character's name?
Dale.
Dale.
Dale
That's
Odell.
right. Dale Odell. So Dale tells you that when you guys get to town, you got enough to get you through the day. When you get to the village, he'll go out foraging and hunting and resupply everything. But you guys can't come with him because you're not like rangers and you're not seasoned hunters and you're going to make a lot of noise. And that's going to scare away the game. It's going to make my job a lot harder. So I'm just going to a nod to Jose and his characterization of his character. So that's why he's not here, and that why you're going to stay in this little podunk town a little longer than you probably would.
All right.
Okay. All right.
So as you're like traveling to Through, you kind of get the impression that this is one of those places where you kind of there's got to be some story behind why people live here, because it's miserable. It's arid, extremely cold. The ground is like weirdly hard, like it's not quite, but almost like a permafrost. Because it's in a real northern climate in this area. And it's an uncomfortable place.
It is quite literally at the top of the map.
It is.
It might actually be the northernmost town
Yeah,
in
right.
your map.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And as you start to approach through, you can see that people are farming here, which is kind of surprising because the ground is really hard. I mean, at some point, some of you might need to make a pit stop at some point along the trip there, and you get your little trenching shovel out, and it's really hard to dig. The ground is almost frozen solid. It is terrible, but there are people growing crops, and it looks like they're growing mostly root vegetables like beets and turnips and rutabagas, the sort of stuff that you grow in shitty soil. So, because shitty soil gives you shitty food. And no one likes root vegetables by themselves all the time.
Especially beets.
So it's not a foodie town, in other words.
Probably not. Probably not.
It's a little like probably someplace in Siberia where there's a lot of boiled cabbage,
Right.
root vegetables,
yeah.
and
Beets.
everybody drinks a lot of vodka.
Oh, cabbage. Cabbage is a luxury. That's
Yes. I dream of cabbage.
Potatoes.
You know, I used to get the imperfect produce thing, and I get the root vegetables because they love giving you root vegetables because no one wants to buy them.
Have
They're
some
grocery-
turnips.
Yeah.
And they're cheap.
And I pickled turnips, and they're fantastic. Pickled, really good. Rutabaga, no thanks. Parsnips, bleh. Bitter.
I think Zanko chicken gives you pickled turnips.
They do. That's where I got the idea.
Yeah.
Mine weren't red because I didn't put beet juice in them. And beets taste like dirt.
Beets taste like basements.
Yeah.
That's more accurate.
They're
Really
a
great way to
dank
put it.
You know what? I
food.
really like beets, and now I'm never going to be able to eat one again without going, you know, you're right. It does.
If they have a
taste
lot
like
of
basement.
beets in this town, do the streets run red with like beet refuse?
Probably. They probably did.
Detritus
Yes.
after the days, you know.
So you get it, and the town or village with a wide spot in the road, and there's maybe 8 structures here. Most of the structures are made out of stone, and the one thing that you notice is pretty much all of the structures, even like the little farmhouses you see as you're approaching the town out in the distance, they're built to withstand some weather. This place, I mean, everything is low. Not a lot of there's not a lot of multi-storied structures. They seem to be made out of stone and mortar, and the roofs seem to be made out of like they went and got slate somewhere because even the roofs are made out of some form of stone.
Just to withstand the elements battering down.
Right, exactly. And there's moss and lichens. You pretty much cover everything. You get on the
It was
north.
arid. Moss is a very damp sort of thing.
It's arid because it's cold.
Oh. Okay.
So there is moisture, but most of it is not in any sort of liquid form.
Got it.
That wouldn't be moisture, then, would it? I don't know. But
I'll just go with it.
It's fall.
The thing about moss is it kind of goes dormant.
Yeah, and then
when-
come
and then
back.
it can come back.
Okay.
So
Maybe it's just like
and the thing about mountains is it can be very arid, and then it rains and snows.
Right. And it's the sort of thing like on the north. You can always tell what direction north is because the north side of all the buildings is sort of green.
I always think about like when you're traveling up by Mount Shasta, there's a couple of sort of bleak towns off the 5 that are kind of that way. They're like High Chaparral, and they're just kind of.
That's kind of what this is
Yeah.
like. There's like the wind
Rocks.
is kind of constant and annoying. Probably would be dangerous if you were to stay out here for a long time.
Not like strong enough to completely deter people from living there, but strong enough to be annoying to the people
Right.
who have chosen to plant roots.
And it is this sort of thing when you get to this little village. It's like, why are these people even living here? And then you realize, okay, well, there's a very valuable outpost on that mountain, and they have to have some sort of way station for people who are traveling back and forth from it. And that might be the only real reason this town's here.
Company town.
It is basically, yeah, it kind of is.
Does it have a brothel?
Not a public brothel. It might, but there's like 8 structures here. There's like there's a blacksmith. 80% of what he looks like what he's got for sale are farming implements, but he does have a couple of like swords, and you don't see any armor. But there's some other stuff there. There's a tavern, which also looks like it has rooms to let. There is a general store. What's the place where you buy stuff for horses?
Tack.
Farrier? No, the farrier's shoes.
A stable.
Yeah, stable.
With tack.
Yeah, I can't remember. There's a name for it.
Feed store.
Yeah, it's like a feed and tack store. There's that kind of
There
thing.
you go.
And just very basic stuff. Doesn't seem like there's a lot here.
Do you see like any kind of? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. Did you mention if there was a sort of inner tavern or anything like that?
There's a tavern.
There's a tavern.
It's called the Giggling Wizard.
Do we hear? I mean, are the doors open? Do we hear any activity?
Well, you guys, it's probably near nightfall by the time you guys arrive. So there is a glow coming from. You can see even out in the distance, little farmhouses out there too. But the tavern, you can see that there's a picture of a wizard, very stereotypical with the long gray beard and the big hat, going.
Does the tavern look in pretty good repair, or is it?
I mean, it's most of the taverns you go to are more than one story. They usually have the rooms upstairs. Everything here is flat, so it's actually a fairly large structure. But there's a tavern, and you can tell it's got like sort of like outbuildings, like wings off of it. Doesn't look big. I mean, not huge, but
It probably makes the most money in town because everybody that comes through here stays there.
Right.
Comes a ton of money.
Yeah, nobody wants to camp or.
Right.
No. Especially at this time of year. I mean, you guys had to build a fire the night before. It was cold, so yeah. But the tavern is definitely. It looks like it's open. The lights are on, and it looks awfully warm in there.
Yeah.
Trudge up to the tavern, and I guess we have to wait for
cool.
Dale. And
Yeah, sold.
yeah.
So he heads off like as soon as you kind of probably veers off a little before he's like, oh, there's the town. I'm going to go and see what I can find. I'll see you guys in a day or so. And
He's going to probably head down to the woods where there's probably more game.
probably, yeah. You can see that's visible from the road that you're on. So.
From Thura.
He's a good man and thorough. All right. So you walk inside, small place, like 3 tables. There's only like 3 people in the whole place, not including one waitress and a barkeep. And there's probably someone in the kitchen because you can't smell food. And it smells all right. You don't smell any spices whatsoever. But you do smell some sort of animal protein and basement.
Squirrel. Squirrel and beet stew.
I mean, this is towards the end of the day, so you've kind of been trucking for the whole day, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And not easy travel. I mean, you're on roads, but it's been cold and awful.
Yeah, great. Let's definitely get a room and get some food.
Yeah, I'm down for.
At this point, even squirrel and beet stew is better than, we're cold
just
or
something
hungry,
warm, like
miserable.
a warm broth or something.
Yeah,
Right.
Sitting in front of
Honestly.
the fire.
Yeah. Is there a hearth?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I will, without too much announcement, just walk over to that table, to the table nearest it.
Okay.
Take a seat and just start warming my hands.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I glance. If you hadn't followed, I glance at you and I kind of give you one of these.
Yeah, I guess we'll all do the same.
I'm going to say hi to the bartender.
Hi, how you doing?
It's a woman. She's a matronly. Let me see. Where is she? I wrote her a little intro here somewhere. Short, stocky. Looks like she's in her mid-50s.
I sense a compatriot.
She had sort of steel gray hair. And she says, "Oh, welcome.
Oh, thank you. We're so happy to be here. It's sure is warm. It was really cold out there.
Well, we don't get many visitors. What you guys? You're not soldiers. You're not here for the watch cave.
Oh, we came from there, yeah.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, where you come from?
Oh, we were at the Citadel, you see, and we took this mirror and we came over to the mountain and we came down the mountain. Oh my goodness, that was a steep mountain. We fell on our keisters a fair number of times, I'll tell you that.
You're from the capital, the Citadel?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Are they a little starstruck?
Oh, a little bit, yeah. And she sort of says, "Well, let me get you some drinks," and then
Oh, thank you, dear.
and she takes your orders and hurries away.
I totally got Ferris Bueller vibes.
I could start pulling things out of my hair.
That's exactly who I got all of a sudden was Edie whatever it is. Edie McClure.
Oh, in the office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secretary
Grace.
Grace.
Secretary,
You sounded
yeah.
just like Dirty Harry.
It. Oh, you almost had a chin.
And in this case, taking our order means you want a meal and a drink. Do you want a meal and a drink? Do you want a meal and a drink? There's not really a whole lot of a selection, I imagine.
Well, they have a few different kinds of wines and ales.
Oh, all right, okay.
It gets shipped in from Smirt. And don't you love that name?
Where is it?
Smirt. It's way up there.
Oh, yes.
That's the big city around here.
That's where we're headed to next before we
that's
bear
right.
south.
It says Ikoja.
Ikoha. Smirt.
Ikoha. It's really tiny print.
Yes, it is. That map was meant to be a poster. It was actually going to be very large, like 3 by 4 feet. I was going to put it up someplace and like you could unfurl it. And then I realized it doesn't actually have that much detail on it. So it kind of wouldn't be
As the map
point.
goes.
We don't have enough real estate on the front.
All right. So that she brings back your food, and it's like it looks like it's probably rabbit.
Oh,
okay,
this
that's
looks
not
good.
bad. That's yeah.
not-
Sounds good to me.
And there no beets, but it's got like rutabagas and parsnips and potatoes
Parsnips.
and carrots.
It sounds like a delicious rabbit stew. I'm
That's what
sold.
I'm saying, yeah.
Totally sold.
You can tell they don't get a lot of salt here.
As long as there's
I
bread
have
with it.
some.
Okay,
As long as there's some bread with it.
Yeah.
there is bread.
Bread
I'm
grows.
not picky. I just start chowing down as
Yeah.
soon as it gets in there. Yeah.
And they have a variety of ales and wines from Smirt. Not the finest. They have some. They have beverages with alcohol from far away. It's about as good as it gets, and they don't even really try to upsell it. So you're sitting there enjoying your meal, and then you see someone kind of comes rushing in and says something to. I didn't tell you her name, did I?
No.
Chamomile Blackstone.
Oh.
Very nice. Does the waitress also have a name? No, you don't need to know that yet.
I didn't put her name down, but I have a list of names.
She hasn't factored into our story yet, but
You know what?
she's in the room.
We'll call her Vera.
Okay.
Is she a Vera Blackstone?
Yes. She's Chamomile's daughter. But you see, someone rushes in, looks like a farmer, and he goes and whispers something to Chamomile, and she's like, "Oh my goodness," and looks kind of worried, and then she goes, like, there's like 3 doors that lead out of this place to the sort of the wings. She goes through one of them, and then she comes back a little while later, and she looks extremely worried and distraught. She does come by at some point, and she says, "How was your meal? Is everything all right?"
Oh, it's delicious. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
I couldn't help but notice that you look a little worried after someone came in. We have a friend who's out hunting. Is there something that we might be concerned about? Is there something out there? Or is there a...
Well, where is he hunting?
I think he might be out by the forest edge.
Oh no, this is all happening up in the North Country.
What's happening in the North Country?
Oh,
Oh, wait. What's happening in the North Country?
I thought we fixed the other one.
I think it got
A little
fit.
bit of an opening.
Okay,
Okay.
you can
I
keep
got
it.
healing on one side. I think the other one. I'm gonna keep the.
Just
Okay.
for character?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, she says,
Place
"Well,
to put a pen.
someplace you
Anyway.
can store things in
Yeah.
it."
I don't want to see you eat soup.
Just see it with your head tilted one way.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh, it's gotta hurt.
Oof.
It would sting. I would think it would sting.
I don't
She says, "Well, we have small towns tend to have their ghost stories,
Ooh.
and we've had. Well, they called him the Millstone House Spectre, and I don't know a lot of the story, but apparently he was some young man in some family long, long ago who was killed." And every so often, someone will see him sort of walking. He's a tall, gaunt figure, and they'll see him walking in the distance out in the fields. Farmers will see him occasionally, but last night there was a goat that was a kid, a baby goat, was killed, and another one was killed. Well, he just came in to tell me that they found one today, and that's new.
Well, we're in this town for a little while until our compatriot comes back. We can certainly take a look at it. Look into it if you want. We have a certain set of skills. I'm going to pull out one of my cards. Card. Usually they charged 22 silver a day plus expenses, but seeing as we're in your fine establishment here and such, perhaps we could just work out a deal. We could look into this for you if we stay for room and board.
Could you? Is this?
That's, we were sent by the Citadel on an investigative thing, so we're very good at this. And since we're here anyway, we can look into it for you.
Well, that would be wonderful.
Oh, great! I'm glad we could come to a establishment. We're going to need some rooms too, by the way.
Oh, that's fine. We have plenty of rooms.
Now, what can you tell me about this?
How many rooms do you want? I should get the fires started.
We should probably go with
A room apiece.
a room apiece. Yeah.
Okay. She heads off. Or she goes to consult with her daughter, who goes running off.
Sends Vera off.
Yes, sends her to go. start the fires.
In what manner were these things killed?
Well, that's the...
Necks broken? Or...
No, from what I hear, there's not a mark on them.
They're just dead.
They're just dead.
Wonder if they got sick.
I don't... Well, these are experienced farmers. If they had some sort of illness, I would think they would recognize it.
This is the first time you found slaughtered lambs?
Kids.
I can't say slaughtered kids.
Well, baby goats.
Okay.
It's not. Yes. It's not. We've never had anything like this ever.
One of them, your magic book, please.
Has this...
And there's been a sighting of the specter on both nights.
What can you tell us about the legend of the Spectre?
I don't know much about it. You'd probably have to talk to some of the farmers up in that area. They kind of keep to themselves. People who farm out here aren't necessarily people.
You're well respected in the community, so if we were to go up and drop your name, they would probably open up to us?
Possibly.
Okay. That's good to know.
Says the man that was just here is Ged Barton. He's a farmer. He has a farm just due north of here. There's a little rabbit trail that leads up to his place. He's the one that just lost the kid. You could start with him. Sorry, the baby goat. You could start with him.
How close does he live to this North Stone house?
It's a ways farther north. Probably. There's a couple farms north of him, and then it's abandoned. But it's up there. It's a few hours walk.
All right. Well, we'll look in it in the morning. I think.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah. Sure. No problem.
So, you finish your meal.
Well, we're going to take this time to actually do a little plotting.
Okay.
So, when we get to where we're going, I'm going to try not to give away too much of what we're doing, and who knows who's listening.
Well, I mean, the place is virtual. I mean, there's like one guy sitting at the bar, and they're staying away from you when you're having your coffee.
Well, at the very least, we could wait until we get a room to gather.
We can just sit it here and we'll talk. We just won't shout it out. We don't have Dale with us, so most of our secrets. I have to say, I'm relieved to find out that the baby goats don't have arrows sticking out of them. Because considering how Dale shoots, I could easily have seen him mistaking baby goats for prey and shooting them
forest prey.
Right. He was aiming for the deer and he shot the baby goat instead. I mean,
there you
considering, we should get that heal up again too. I think I've got some more bandaging I can do, and the whistle is annoying.
I really thought we did.
Oh, it was rather endearing, if you ask me.
But no. I mean, we'll huddle over the table and.
So,
what have you got?
Okay, can I use diagnosis on goats? It says what? I mean, it has something about veterinary down here. I don't have a veterinary skill, but it does give me the ability to tell what killed a dead person.
I would think it would work on animals. I wouldn't see why it wouldn't, especially if it defaults to veterinary.
Okay.
totally.
All right,
Sort
once
of in
we
a
get in the
general
vicinity
sense,
of
right?
this thing, I can find out what killed it.
Perfect. So when we get to the town of Amman,
Amana.
Do you guys have any idea on how we could track down this famous wizard? I mean, all I can think of is if we start asking around too much, he's going to catch wind of us, right? And
Let me just ask one question.
Yeah.
And this may be like a memory jogger for you.
Right.
You did not use all of the blood that you harvested from the Emperor. Did you save any of it? Is it with you, or is it all back in the Citadel?
We didn't.
Because remember, you had to get he had little tiny bits of blood in his body still. That's how you got the blood in order to track.
Yeah, I think I just took it off the body. I don't know. I didn't realize we actually took blood out of him. I thought I just used.
Well, he was almost fully
Right.
drained, but you had to go into the.
Okay.
Because I asked what the word was for the chapel, or whatever you call it, inside
where they
inside
had
the
moved the
Citadel.
body to. Yeah.
And you went there and you were able to get a little tiny bit of blood out of him. But what I'm asking is, do you have that with you, or would you have left that?
I think I'd take it with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I can try tracking the blood again, but do you guys have any ideas on how else? I mean, I thought we could casually ask about, like, a wizard with a staff and a glowing green stone is going to be fairly prominent. And especially these two wizards are very powerful, so I'm assuming that they're in high positions in this town somewhere. Somebody's going to know them, and we could ask around in sort of maybe in wizardly circles. But if we start asking too many questions and making ourselves too known, he's going to know.
I at least spend a day checking in with the common folk, the poorer folks.
That's what I was thinking. The sailors, perhaps? Or,
it's like, you ask questions up high, and that'll attract attention, but if you kind of go down to the lower ranks of the town, sometimes they can slip by.
I was just going to ask my family who live in the town. I got family everywhere. Family and friends, you know.
That would have been important to know when
To
we
lead
started
in.
Well, not
this.
close family, you know, real distant. But, you know, family is family.
Oh, okay.
I think we spend a day following our leads. Maybe you ask the wizards, you ask your family.
Well, they're wizards.
I'll delve in the, your familiar wizards. Yeah. I'll hit the streets, the slums, see what I can gather.
I have a couple of concerns, though, too. Wizards this powerful don't always act alone. So he obviously had one companion with him. I'm thinking there's more. And what they're doing, I'm not at all entirely sure what they're going to do with his blood. I don't know what they need it for. I could see them controlling somebody. So I'm wondering if the daughter is being controlled that he had.
Maybe.
Well, if they're going to try to, because he's dead, they can't just reanimate him and then take over the throne because everyone saw him die. They're not going to buy into that. We can't bring back a doppelganger because he's dead. So I'm very confused about what they need. I don't know if this is a purely political play, because although killing this emperor is it the emperor of the entire realm?
No, yeah.
Okay.
That whole area is an empire that's made up of duchies and kingdoms.
It's not a purely political play because they didn't just assassinate him, and then I don't see any contenders for the throne that's suddenly popping up. And why just assassinate him and you wouldn't take his blood? Because that's a big sign that there's something else going on, right? And anybody would notice that. It's like, especially when they go to embalm him, they're like, there's no blood left to take. So these questions are puzzling me. You know, these are.
When you have a target like that, you tend to cast a wider net. It's not just that one.
I am concerned that there is some political play involved, and that perhaps these wizards are making a play. I'm concerned that our connection, what's his name, Jostamir? Dostimir might know more than we think. His particular circle tends to have the ear of powerful people. They tend to be the political movers and shakers, or fancy themselves such. I'm wondering if this is all tied together with that particular cast of wizards. I could see people taking a dislike to the Emperor, being a nudist, being quirky, and perhaps they want to install somebody else in line, and perhaps maybe they're going to bring the daughter in and have her controlled by using his blood. But that's the only heir, right? That's the only heir? Was there the one daughter who's away somewhere?
Yes.
So these are other things I want to think about and keep an eye out for. Because if we hear about the daughter coming into Amman or something, that might be something to look for. Amana. Somebody to look for.
Just
Right?
picture a refrigerator from a
mana.
Bygone era.
Sort of in an avocado green.
Yeah.
A harvest gold.
That's the general aesthetic of the city, right?
You talk about Dostomir and his cast of wizards. Do they have a presence in Amana?
They have a presence everywhere, and they're usually in court.
Okay, that's unsettling.
I'm concerned that the wizard, or one of the wizards that was involved in this assault, is part of his cast. It's nothing I could confront Dostomir about directly, considering how prickly he is at the best of times. And if there is an overall plot going on, Jostomir's just going to deny it. And if we tip our hat and let him know that we suspect his cast and him, he'll just climb up and cover his tracks. I wanted to talk about this now while we're away from the prying eyes and prying citadel, but it's something to keep an ear out for and keep an eye out for.
So we can all tread lightly.
The fact that this blood was taken, and so much of it was taken, means that there's some nefarious plot going on. This isn't just a political assassination. There's something else bad. And if somebody wants to summon a demon using Emperor's blood, to what purpose? What do you summon the demon for? To just run loose around there? That's not good for anybody. So there's something else they want by using this blood.
Now, one of the things that your character probably knows at least peripherally is that a lot of times when someone dabbles in any kind of magic that deals with sort of the other realms, which includes necromancy and demon summoning and gate spells, even the magic that makes skipping mirrors, most mages consider that very dangerous magic because it's one of those things where you're really meddling with sort of like the fabric of reality.
Yeah, and clearly one of these wizards is good at that because they gated with no rest. Now, granted, they have a power stone. I'm assuming the green rock in the staff is a power stone, so he can draw from that. But to make 2 gate spells in the span of one night, 3, and to put 2 people into the ground, it's an enormous amount of power and an enormous amount of skill.
Well, yeah, you saw what it takes to do that. But the other thing is that those demons and these entities from other realms, they have other uses for stuff from this world. So while that blood, the usefulness of that blood to a mundane mage, would be limited in what you can do with it. To something in another realm, it could have powers way beyond what it would have here. Like you could use it to control. You could use it to control like the Emperor's daughter or the heir.
But it could just.
But you could do all kinds of stuff with it outside because of what it represents.
It could also just have been perhaps what the demon asked for in order to impart his powers to someone. It's like, I need a gallon of a noble's blood.
Yeah.
Again, if it's just appeasing a demon, there's plenty of nobles nearby. There's plenty of nobles you need. They took it down the Emperor. These are all questions I have. I just sort of want to ruminate on it. But I also don't trust Dostomir and his cast. Dostomir. Stop correcting me.
I can't help it. I let you go with like 4 times before I chimed in on that last one.
Yeah, it's good that she does that because eventually I'm going to start misremembering what his
There
name
you go.
is. And then his name's going to change. And in the chat room, we'll go, wasn't his name? Hasn't his name evolved over the last few sessions?
Dostomir with the day. Okay.
Yeah, but as soon as you mention just the idea of demons and demon summoning, you hear this audible as my chair scrapes back from behind the table, and my hand gives myself a little, I do sort of like a holy symbol of some sort, just.
Listen, I'm not comfortable with it
prayer,
either.
so,
I don't do any of that. I'm a hedge mage compared to that.
In fact, I can bring it up.
Well, it's something to be aware of because these 2 wizards scare the shit out of me. And if we end up having to confront them and anybody like them that are with them, they're going to clobber us and not even blink. So that's another thing to think of is how do we take out at least 2, if not, I'm going to guess 5 very powerful wizards. The thing is, if the minute they can cast a spell, they can get a spell off, we're toast. So we need to be able to either surprise them or keep them distracted long enough that they can't concentrate.
Well, I can help, throw off any spells that they're about to cast.
I think as we travel into Amana, and as we make our approach, we need to be careful as to what friends we make and what enemies we might accrue.
Well, everybody's a friend. You just might not have met them yet.
We should be careful who we talk to. Also, maybe, I don't know what your skill set is when it comes to disabling weapons, but if anything we can do to keep them from moving their hands or keep them uncomfortable enough that they can't concentrate will help us greatly.
Get me in there, and if I can get a couple of whacks in, I'll do what I can.
Oh, I could make them itch. I could have a spasm. I could,
You're more useful than I am in this
Yes.
situation. I have no real way of
fall
combating
down.
it.
My eyes got to grow
Slow
wide.
down.
I'm like, you can do that.
Oh, yeah. I don't really like to hurt people, but I won't stop them from hurting us.
That's all right. I got that covered.
The other thing to think about is wherever they're congregating is going to be a pretty big space, but it's probably going to be a hidden space. It's not like it's going to be advertised. So another thing we can look out for is some underground space perhaps involved with the city. So we might be actually go look at sewer systems. We might actually go look at blueprints and see if there's some place where they are where they can gather safely. I mean, it's possible that they're holding it fairly open in a house or a chapel or a mansion, or if the Duke of Amana is involved. Duchess of Amana is involved. It could actually be in the castle as well. So that's something else to think about is how do we get to the castle, and if we do, we shouldn't trust anybody until we know what's going on. I'm open to ideas, but these are my concerns. Yeah? You guys got anything to add?
Well, I am both unfazable and incurious, so no, I'm good. I'm just enjoying my meal.
And the camaraderie. Yeah.
Ripping into a piece of rabbit, I say, well, in that case, if we suspect that this could be happening in the underbelly of the city, I'll see what I can find out. The poor will definitely have eyes there.
Good for you.
Yeah, I think that's a good starting point. Short of asking people, do you know a wizard with a green stone?
Sure, right, yeah.
Do you know another green
Well, I think that's a way to go.
It's a way to start. Perhaps amongst certain, like maybe with your family only. See where we go from there.
All right.
Again, this guy, perhaps, I'm counting on the fact that he's a very proud man and probably shows himself, at least goes shopping a lot, and somebody like that's going to stand out.
Wow,
Especially
you
if he's
seem to
that
know a lot
prominent.
about him.
I'm profiling. It's what we do in the detective agency world. And a wizard of this age and this skill is going to show off, and he's going to think that people are beneath him, because that tends to be the way with very powerful wizards who think that they are better than others.
I met a few of those, I'll tell you that.
So I'm going to count on the fact that he probably leaves a memory with various shopkeepers and things when he degrades them and is condescending to them. But again, if we ask too many people, it'll get back to him. All right.
Well, that's a good plan. Thanks
Yeah.
for talking that out with us.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But on to this other one.
Dead goats.
The dead goats. We can start with the dead goat. I can maybe try casting one of my other location spells and such. But it really depends on what's around and what's going on there. Ghosts are a thing.
Is the farmer who came in to talk to Chamomile still there?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
He's the guy probably sitting at the bar. We'll say he's the guy sitting at the bar.
So I go up to him.
And he's like,
Are you okay there?
this thing with my goat.
I'm so sorry about your goat. It's hard to lose the little ones, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is, but it's strange because my neighbor north of me, he lost one yesterday.
Do you think I could get a look at your goat or your neighbor's goat?
Of course, I don't have it with me. It's back at my farm.
Well, if I could maybe come back with you, I could take a look at the goat. I might be able to figure out what went wrong.
Well, certainly.
I don't know if that's a today thing or a tomorrow thing.
It's late and it's
Okay.
cold. I mean, it's if you want to press him, he'll take you up there. You kind of get that vibe from him, but he also, it's up to you.
I like the idea of going in the morning.
All right.
If
well,
none of you mind.
if you tell me how to find you, I'll come out and see you first thing in the morning then.
Oh, okay.
If you could put the goat in a safe place tonight and, cover the poor deer, I'll come out and take a look in the morning.
Okay, I can do that. He gives you directions,
Okay.
and it's very stereotypical old small town directions.
Oh, I love those.
There's a rock that sort of looks like a duck,
Yeah,
but you have to look at
absolutely.
it from the right angle, so you have to take a
Speak
couple
this
steps
language.
off the road. Don't travel on the road. You have to be a little off the road, and then you can see. Then you go,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's a
Yeah.
duck. Mm-hmm. And then it gives you the whole thing. And there's a giant oak tree, and then there's a pine tree sitting all by itself with nothing else around it. And when you get there, and then the whole
Perfect.
Do we heal a day without just every day we heal a point? Is that how that works?
of what
hit points?
you make a health roll, if I recall correctly. I'm going from 3rd edition, but if you make a health roll every day, you get one back.
So we can heal for this one. Okay.
That's
What do we
simple.
need? Under
Under
what?
Under your health.
All
Your
right,
health.
of course. So
not your current health, but what your stat is. Because your health is
okay.
your hit points.
Right. So all right. I'm just because I was at 4, now I'm at 3, and then the next day will be at 2 because we spend a day traveling.
You spend a night, yeah. You get
and
a
I
jump on.
failed that one.
Okay.
I seem to be all topped up, so I don't know.
I'm almost up at full. I feel a little
I'm
better
still
about
down 3 because I did a homer down the stairs
Ow.
for 1d6 damage and got a 5, if I remember correctly.
it. Right.
Just
Right.
almost half my hit points.
Yeah.
He was like, "It's only 5 hit points." I'm like, "I've got 11."
I made a mage. I need to spend a lot of points to be good at what I do.
Yeah.
And none of those are in health. It's the one stat I don't need. All right. So the next morning you wake up and there's like some sort of porridge.
This looks good.
It looks like it's probably whatever was left over from the night before that's been turned into something more watered down.
I actually was watching one of these history things, and that's what the original thing of porridge was pottage, and it was just a constant pot that they threw everything in, bread, crumbs, everything, and that's what you ate all day long,
Right.
and it never stopped cooking.
Right.
You just keep adding things. I love that.
I do have salt and seasonings if anybody needs anything.
Salt must be expensive here because they don't use much of it. They don't use much seasoning at all. And there's something in there that has this funny taste to it that you could call a spice, maybe.
Possibly.
Kind of hard to
Like juniper or something.
maybe something like that.
Sage.
Yeah, some sort of
Something
flower.
hearty.
Yes,
Scrapings from the north side of the building.
maybe some thistle of some sort that's been dried and ground up. You're probably lichen, ground up lichen. Probably smoked first, so it's
Oh, there you
It's
go.
like smoked paprika.
Sort of
So it's bitter,
palatable,
too.
yeah.
We're really getting off on the food here.
Did you see all of the acorns that fell out of my oak
Yeah.
tree? It's like
Yeah.
I went online because you can turn those into acorn flour.
Flour,
You
yeah.
gotta be real careful because you gotta get the tannins out.
rinse the shit out of it. I looked at it too.
But I harvested like a lunch bag full of them. I'm gonna try it.
How much flour are you supposed to be able to get out of? Like, how much flour are you going to be able to get out of a container like that?
I don't know. Well, apparently these trees will drop a huge amount. I mean, it did. I don't know if you saw, but I could probably fill up like a 50-pound sack full of.
I remember we used to have
acorns.
parties. I would throw handfuls in the fire pit because they would just burn them.
Oh, yeah,
They're
right.
great.
But apparently, these particular trees are like.
The Native Americans used to come through here all the time.
They said they used to fight over groves of these trees.
Right.
Because they produce so much. Well, who knows? I don't know what it'll taste like. I think I may actually go out and see if I can buy some acorn flour first to see if it's worth the work. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't think get everything.
Also, you can watch some videos. You just have to rinse the shit out of it.
Oh,
Rinse it and watch it. Rinse it and watch it.
yeah.
Rinse it, like
Yeah,
5 times.
Oh,
They used to put it in running streams for days. It's
apparently there's a protein in it. If you do there's a cold version
Yes.
of doing that takes like a month. But if you do that, it keeps some protein in it that acts almost like a gluten, so that you can actually make acorn floured bread that will actually rise a little. which it won't do otherwise.
There's two ways. You either ground it all first and wash the flour, or you wash the.
You have to get them apart first. Anyway, we'll go back to that. So in the morning you get up and have your mediocre breakfast.
Well, let's sort of gather our stuff up. I mean, the stuff we're going to need, and we'll head out.
Yeah, so I was wondering, can we leave some stuff here?
Of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So we're all going to go see the farmer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'll don my new set of leather armor and bring a mace and just enough food for like the afternoon, I suppose.
Okay.
Like enough dry bread or something for the afternoon.
Okay. Oh, and the chamomile will make sure that you have,
Oh, that we're provisioned.
She'll make
Like some bread and goat cheese for the road.
There you go.
like what do they call the hunters,
Hunter's lunch.
which is that
Plowman's.
like the sandwich thing that they used to make and wrap. That
Love that.
It's like you take the bread and you hollow out the bread and then you put some stuff in it.
Yeah, with the food. Listen to
I
us.
know, right?
That must be really be hungry.
Yeah, can't wait for dinner.
None of us had dinner tonight.
Where do we get that stuff for dinner? That sounds good. Rabbit and
Oh yeah. And then you make your way north and you follow the directions and they're very accurate. And
Yep.
he sees
rock like a duck.
you can see him out picking stones out of his field.
Hi there. How are you doing today?
Oh, hello. Oh, I set him aside for you.
Okay. You take me to it then.
He takes you over to his barn, which is also made out of stone. And it looks like he puts a little fire in here for his goats. Because there's like a little pen outside, but there's no door, but it's like there's like a opening, and he goes and stokes a fire for them. They'll freeze, he tells you, in the winter if I don't. And then he has it's sitting kind of away within the pen, and he like opens the thing up, and it's a little baby goat, probably about that big.
Okay. Any obvious signs of anything at all? Trauma.
No obvious signs of trauma.
Okay.
There's no cuts or lacerations,
Okay.
breaks. You don't see anything.
Where do you find it?
It was here. In
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. While you're examining the baby goat, I'm going to just circle around the pen and the grounds to see if I can see tracks or anything.
Go ahead, make a try.
Okay.
You want to do a diagnosis?
Diagnosis.
Is this where the goat was
Baby goat.
found?
Yes.
Let's see. This
Inside.
It's inside the pen is where it was found.
Okay.
I don't have tracking. Would that be IQ?
IQ -5.
Minus 5.
Yeah, default skills. I mean, tracking. I'm assuming is an average
Sure.
difficulty skill, so it'd be
Sure.
-5.
Okay, this is not going to be be great.
You need a critical success.
I gotta get like 4 or less.
That would be great.
Oh well, that's a 7, so no. But I got 2 1s on 2 dice. So
Yeah.
Oh well.
You know, the only tracks you really see around here are obviously the farmer's tracks
Yeah,
and what
yeah.
look like goat tracks.
Yeah, there's nothing out of the ordinary.
No.
Okay.
I made it by 2.
Okay. You kind of like look in its mouth at its gums and stuff like that, and you realize that because obviously the animal's covered in fur, so you can't really see its skin real well. But you know where to look to see, and you don't think there's any blood in this thing.
Hey, you guys. Got something to tell you here. This baby goat here doesn't have any blood in it, just like the emperor.
It's an emperor goat.
And it does kind of look a little deflated. Yeah, like it's
A little sunken, a little
severely
collapsed.
dehydrated almost.
Desiccated.
And it's only been a day, right? But it has that sort of sunken look to it.
Have you? Is this the first time you've experienced animal deaths like this?
Me, yeah, but Arbus, he points north. He says he had one last night or night before last.
But none before last night.
No.
Anywhere around here.
Not like this.
Have you
I
ever
mean, we have goats die.
right, you get fox attacks and
Oh, yeah.
God, wolf or something.
Well, we don't have it. Well, there's no foxes around here, but we have there's raccoons and such. And I mean, they get diseased, but I've never seen anything like this. And Arbus's was the same. And we heard the screeching.
Oh,
And we've heard that the screeching's been going on for a long time, and we all figured it's probably the specter. But it changed. It got 2 nights ago. It got, well, scary.
Does this sound like a person screeching? I mean, you're growing up around here. You know every animal in the woods.
Oh no, this doesn't. I mean, it doesn't really sound like a person. And you hear it, and I've heard it. You know, every month or so you'll hear it out in the distance. But I heard it nearby, and it was disturbing.
And it's only at night?
Only at night. And Arbus knows the whole story about the. I would talk to him if you want to know about the Spectre, because he know. My family's only owned this farm for 2 generations.
We should go see him then, yeah? Again, so sorry about the goat.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Does
Sure would like it if it wouldn't happen again. If you guys could figure out, get to the bottom of it.
to see if other baby goats that might be imperiled.
Yes.
Or was this his only baby goat?
No, this is there's like a he has like a breeding pair, and there's like a second.
A second kid.
Yes,
Okay.
from the same litter
So besides
or
you
whatever they call them.
besides you and your friend Arbus, was
Oh yeah.
how many other homesteads are there nearby?
Well, on this side of the road, there's about 8 of us.
Okay,
There's more south.
But a good amount of other folks that could
Yeah.
possibly be
I
threatened.
mean, there's this village probably serves 100 people, 120 people maybe total.
And just to, Arbus is closer to the Millstone house.
Yes.
Where the Spectre
Yeah.
allegedly.
He tells you, says the Millstone house, that's been long abandoned because it's just too far north.
Gotcha. Okay.
But he says it was, and it's called that because there was a mill. And it's 2 properties north. So Arbus is north of him, and then the Millstone house is north of him.
Okay. All right.
And he says there's basically nothing north of there.
Huh. Okay. So whatever it is, hit Arbus's house first, the closer one, and then this one the next night.
Yeah.
Oh, so it might be traveling out, whatever it happens to be. If it did originate from the Millstone house.
And this is one of 2 baby goats that are in here?
Yeah. The other one's alive, but Arbus lost a goat the night
Right.
before.
No, I
this.
got all that too. I was just trying. I'm trying to. So, do you know if Arbus had more than 1 baby goat up there?
I think he only had the one.
So if it's up past Arbus, it came down, ate the 1, went back up, came down, no more goat, came here, ate the 1, went back up. So chances are it might come back tonight for the second goat.
Yeah. Do we want to try to run up north and see?
We
what
should
can
talk to
see?
Arbus anyway if he knows about
Yeah.
the Spectre.
If we've got enough daylight.
I'm not entirely convinced it's a Spectre, but we shall see. Let's at least go up there and maybe I can cast a few spells.
Right.
It might be closer to where we need to be anyway. So we'll head up to Arbus.
All right.
And as we go north, by the way, I ready my crossbow. Let's
Okay.
keep that constantly ready just in case.
Got it.
As loud and ineffectual as Dale is, it would have been nice to have him here, seeing if there's any prints around. 'Cause,
Yeah.
If the-
Default skills are real tough.
if this was a Spectre, it wouldn't leave any footprints. But
Yeah.
I don't know if a Spectre would. I'm not a ghost hunter per se. I remember looking up some things, but Spectres don't normally drain blood, so I'm wondering what else it could be. The screeching makes me think perhaps a banshee, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, my mind is kind of spinning with the possibilities right now of encountering something else supernatural. But yeah, I mean, I'll follow your lead as far as
She didn't find any puncture wounds or anything when she looked?
No trauma. None at all. Sorry. Sorry, those.
Yeah, there you go. Right. But yeah, no, I say I'll follow your lead, like talking to this Arbus fella, see what we can find.
Okay. So you guys head north, and it gets even more barren and even more unpleasant the farther north you go. and again, there's another farm, and you can see that there's another stone house, and you can see a little smoke coming out of the top of it.
Well, we're going to make sure we make plenty of noise and "Ahoy, house, hello," and we say, what was the other farmer's name?
Ged
Barton. Our guest Ged sent us up to take a look at the goat and see if we can find anything. Hello, we're friends. Ahoy, the house.
And the door opens up, and you see an old man come out. And he's got trousers all the way up high.
Hi.
And he comes out. He's kind of walking with a cane. The old guy.
We were at the inn last night and heard you guys are having some troubles, and we're here in town for a bit, so we thought we might look into this. We were told that you know about this specter and that you had a goat die on your property, so we thought we'd come up and take a look and see if we could help.
He has kind of a suspicious air to him. He kind of,
what's the name of the innkeeper?
A chamomile?
Chamomile, yeah. The chamomiles sent us up here as well. She thought that we might be able to help.
All right. I got the goat around and back.
Sure. While we're checking out your goat, what do you know about this specter?
Oh, that the old millstone house, it's north of here.
Pepperidge Farm, remember?
Little ways. I actually knew a guy. The character's actually modeled off of someone that I used to talk to at work with, a guy who worked for one of our vendors.
No.
His name was Aubrey. And he talked like this. My name's Aubrey. How can I help? It sounded like someone who does a lot of ice fishing.
She sounds like somebody that does a lot of ice fishing.
Yeah.
And
taking note, this is how you get characters. It's somebody you talk to on the phone.
Right.
And the defining characteristic, they do a lot of ice fishing.
And he's talking as he's taking you to his little barn. And again, also made out of stone, very similar to the other place. And he tells you that, says, well, I should tell you that some of my ancestors are full of shit. So I'm not sure how much of the story's true. But
we all got some of those in the family tree, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
But, this is going back 8-10 generations. They said that the Millers lived up in the north field. He's got a river running through his property. He built a mill. He was trying to grow grain. They said didn't go very well. Land here's too arid, too cold. But it said it was maybe highwaymen or robbers of some kind came in and killed the whole family. They never found the son. They found his body a ways, and they buried it underneath an old tree.
Do you remember the son's name?
No, I don't. But that's lost. I mean, this story's 50-hand. And they said that the boy that you could see what looked like the boy going back to the house occasionally.
How old do you think he was?
Oh, he was probably a teen.
Have you ever seen this specter yourself?
Oh, yeah, I have. In fact, I've seen it, 8 or 9 times. Usually after you see it, that's when your parents would tell you about him, give you the whole story. But 2 nights ago, I heard because there was a screech. Now, according to some of my ancestors, this screech has only been around for a few generations. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know about such things. But I went up 2 nights ago. We got up in the morning, and I'd heard the screech, and the screech was loud. Louder than normal. And then I found my goat. And that day, I went up to the millstone house. It's still standing. The roof's caved in. And I went and I found the tree. And I'm not going to go back there again. There's something wrong.
Have you ever experienced dead animals on your farm in this manner before? Or have your ancestors ever reported this happening?
No.
Have you ever found dead animals in the woods like this? Raccoons, dogs, cats, anything?
Now, you can always tell. I've never seen an animal I couldn't tell why it died. I mean, and there's some diseases that you got to kind of figure it out. But
the screeching you hear, I know you're familiar with all the animals in the area, having grown up here for generations and such. Does this sound like anything you'd ever heard before? Is it a hawk? Does it sound like maybe a wounded animal? Does it sound like a fox or something?
Closest thing I could say is an owl, but it's not an owl.
And when you hear the screeching, is it moving, or is it like up in the woods? Do you hear it?
Usually hear it
in a place.
Until 2 nights ago. You usually hear it in the distance, and you can hear it. It's traveling. You can hear it coming from one direction, and then you can kind of hear it in another direction. But it's always far away. This was not far.
It travels fast.
It seems to.
Do you think it might be flying? You
Maybe.
said an owl.
It said it usually sounds close to the ground. I mean, I'm not, like if I'm out on my front porch and I hear it at night, I'm not hearing it in the air. I'm hearing it close to the ground.
You know, this specter, when you say you saw it, does it look like a person? Is it just a glowing orb? Does it look like a little boy?
It looks like a shadow. Looks like a silhouette.
And do you see it at night? Or have you ever seen it at day?
I've never seen it in the daytime. Only seen it at night. And it's, I mean, he was a tall, lanky kid.
Teenager, yeah.
Yeah, but, and does the shadow look tall and lanky?
It's kind of hard to see. I mean,
Sure.
it's
dark on dark.
right. But, I mean, it looks tall. I mean, I would...
When you saw it, what was it doing? Was it going into the house? Was it staring at you? Was it...
No, it seems to be walking.
And when you see it, is it always in the same area, walking in the same direction?
I see it out in the distance, usually north, but last night I heard the screeching, and it was coming from south of me, and that's rare.
Well, Ged has mentioned that he has a dead goat as well.
Yeah.
So he heard screeching down around his house. It's entirely possible you heard it screeching at his farmstead.
It could be. That's entirely possible, yes.
And did any of the other animals react to this screeching or when the goat was killed?
They always get a little agitated when they hear it. It always makes them nervous.
Sure. But when the goat was killed, was there any other noise? You didn't hear your other goats?
No, when predators get close, I mean, the grown goats, they'll make some noise because they've got a little bit of sense, you know. The young ones, they tend to be quiet when they hear any kind of predator.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if, the mother goats or father goats were trying to protect the young goat and made a lot of noise that woke you up. But if this thing happened quickly and quietly without awaking the other goats.
Well, I didn't check on them 2 nights ago because nothing like this has ever happened.
If you're an experienced farmer, you would know that if your goats were having a commotion to get up and check it
Well,
out.
last night the screeching didn't wake me up, but they woke me up, and that's when I heard the screeching. So they were definitely scared
Okay.
by whatever was out there.
And they've never reacted. They just would sort of react a bit to the screeching, but they've never had this type of reaction before. Recently.
No, I mean, if I get that kind of reaction, it's because there's a like a real predator, like a
Right.
typical predator.
Okay. I think I've asked enough questions. Judging from your sigh.
Back to the goat.
Yes.
Is it also deflated and
Yes.
bloodless? Okay.
Same thing.
I don't think I need to waste a diagnosis on this one.
Okay.
Well, I'm same thing. I'm going to just kind of circle around the area and see.
Make another default. You see, you got your dice set up. You've been training your dice to roll right.
I'm trying so hard. That's a big no. Again.
Okay.
Is there backup candy?
Already? My
Already?
God, it's only
Okay, I was
5:25.
giving way too much, that's why.
Okay. Yeah. Don't give fistfuls.
But we don't
There
care
is.
about-
It's sitting on the table where I had the candy before.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
You're gonna have to slow down.
Okay.
So
Be a Scrooge.
You can hand out LaCroix or something.
I have two things.
You have some
That's a
chips.
LaCroix.
You have some chips.
I have two things I'd like to try those
Some
two.
sugar
I'm not
pills.
sure if they would all work after he's done with his thing.
Oh,
he-
yeah,
oh,
no. I
he
did
tried.
not make that. I did not make that roll.
Yeah.
One is analyze magic.
Love how you presented the thing that he printed for you.
Well, because it's a whole lot easier than me handing the book over. to
Yeah.
him. And he pretty much just cut and pasted it out of the book. And the other one is identify magic. Which one of these might be more useful in this situation?
Well, you cast it. Once you find the thing, either of those could come in handy.
But if I cast it on the goat, will it tell me anything about if it dies
Oh.
magical means?
Possibly, yeah.
Well, I should be able to tell that from diagnosis because I can tell how things died.
It died because it had no blood in it.
Okay, so we've established that is the only thing I'm not able to determine with my diagnosis skill.
Yes.
I
Okay.
want to see if it died under by a magical means or
Sure.
supernatural means.
Okay.
Which one of these would do that?
Let me see them again.
If it's a supernatural thing, that'll help narrow it down. If it's a physical thing, like a giant mosquito.
You know, there's quite a bit of overlap in these two spells.
Well, one of them is a prerequisite for the other. But yes. I kind of had the same problem when I was looking at it as well. Which is why I'm asking.
it's almost like an editor could have come through and said, you know what, do these two spells really need to exist?
One of them's a prerequisite for the other.
Right,
So
but
it
they
seems
almost
like
do the same
They
thing.
do. I think one of them tells you that magic is
Identifies
cast.
exactly what spells are on a subject. That's analyze magic. If the subject has more than one spell on it, analyze magic identifies the one that took the least energy and tells the caster there are more spells. Identify spell identifies what spells have just been cast within the last 5 seconds
Oh, that's
or are being cast at the moment on or by a subject. So analyze magic would be the one in this
Right.
in
It
this
seems
case.
like identify magic is used in combat to figure out what's coming
That's
your
what
way.
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay, that's how I read that as well.
Yeah.
So, what I want to know is if it died under supernatural means, and if so, what it was. All right. So
You're going to be casting which one?
analyze magic.
Look at your skill level with that spell. Roll that or under. What's the time to?
The time for it, prerequisite identify spell. Time to cast is 1 hour.
Okay, so it takes a while. All right. Okay, it's definitely not a combat spell. The other one's probably faster. That's probably why there's
That
two.
makes perfect sense. 13. 11,
14.
14.
You missed.
I did. I did.
So you spend a point of
Yes.
fatigue,
That's right.
and you know nothing, and you've wasted an hour. Would you like to cast it again?
You get nothing.
You get nothing.
Good day, sir. No. We're
Okay.
going to go up to the mill.
What did you use to cast it?
Dice.
Dice.
It says you have to have a staff, wand, or jewelry.
Jewelry.
Go right then.
All right.
Oh, that might be if you're making an item.
It is. In order to make an item that just does that,
Right.
that's all that what is.
Okay.
So let's go up to the mill now.
You're pretty sure it was magic because of the fact there's no it didn't,
There's no puncture wounds or anything.
and there's no blood anywhere,
Right.
and there's no way it got out of it that you can tell. So you're pretty sure it was magic anyway.
I don't know what happened to it, but I'm pretty sure it's magic.
Yeah.
So let's go back up. Let's go up to this mill
mill.
and check out this tree. And
What time is it at this point?
No, it's probably noon.
Okay,
No,
so
noon.
we've got a good
Got
amount of
plenty
time
of time.
before nightfall.
You
Okay.
like depending how long you spend up there, it'll take
Sure.
you'll get back into the village like by nightfall, probably.
Right. Right? The actual town.
Yes.
Itself. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's head on up.
Okay.
I can lead the way if you want, just in case.
I know how to get there.
Fair.
Kodge, that's his first name. Well, tells you he gives you the directions up there.
Kodge Arbus?
Yes. He tells you it's short for codger, and he doesn't see the irony in it. Okay, so you guys make your way north, and you can kind of tell where his property ends, and the Miller farm starts, because it goes from being very well tended to wild growth.
Wildly overgrown. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And of course, it's not that overgrown because nothing grows up here.
Right. Nothing thrives.
Right.
Yeah. I'll crossbow in hand. I'll start just making my way through to the house.
Okay.
Just keeping my eye around the area.
You can tell that he grew beets at some point in the very, very, very distant past.
Some wild beets and maybe some wild grain.
Right.
Like,
Everything's,
odd.
of course, has gone to seed, died out, and grown, and died out and grown thousands of times.
There's probably lots of ryegrass now. From it. He probably should have just left it for a couple centuries. He would have been fine.
Right. And you can see in the distance, the roof is caved in because there's sort of like a wood substructure underneath the slate that everyone uses as shingles, and it's obviously rotted and collapsed. But the stone structure itself is there. It's completely overgrown. There's stuff growing out of the mortar and everywhere, but it's there. You can see that there's a mill. There's a little he called it a river, but it's really a creek, and all of that stuff is rotted and completely gone, but the stone structure for it is still there, and the farmhouse is still there.
Looks abandoned. No signs of anybody squatting or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
Be careful when we go
There's
in.
probably something living in there, but it's probably not technically a squatter.
Right.
Be careful approaching. I want to see if there's fresh disturbed footprints or disturbed.
Any
going in and out of the
tracks?
threshold, dust, branches broken.
Okay. Do you want to kind of just scan ahead a little bit, see if you can find anything?
Sure.
I mean, I can do the same thing.
I might actually have. I have search. I don't have track.
Yeah, my IQ rolls have not been going so well for me.
Yeah, I don't really have anything. All I have is search.
What does search do?
It's just a skill. That's probably just, I don't know. What does search do? That's a good one. It's not a spell.
Was it a spell? What, is it a skill?
It's just a skill.
It might be to search a person.
Oh, that.
Oh, thank you. That would be my guess. Probably holdout is it's sort of companion spell that you would use
Skill.
against. Yeah. Which section is?
It's all right.
No,
It's
well,
all right. I think we all have search, though, right?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't. Yeah, that's why I've been relying on my IQ score, which is not particularly high.
Is the tree within sight of this place as well?
you can see it in the distance. It's dead, but it's standing. But you can see. I mean, the branches and the twigs and all of that stuff are like gray, as you would, when something gets extremely old, and that's what it looks like.
Let's start there. Let's not start in the house.
Sure,
Let's start
okay.
there.
Okay, so you head over to the boy. What is with me? There is the skill section. Okay, what was it? Search.
Just a plain old vanilla search.
If you look in the index, you could have just found a page number.
Well, they're in alphabetical order, so that's the nice thing about what decision they decided to make with this book at some point.
And it doesn't. It's not in a weird font, and it's not like hidden with all of these
It's the ability to search people and baggages and vehicles for items that aren't in plain sight.
Okay,
So it's like when someone's trying to hide something on their person. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. This is my book. That is your book.
Oh, mine's broken. Mine's like cracked.
It is not my book. This is in fact your book. I just
Oh, it is?
I
Okay.
possess it during
Okay,
games
that's
because I
fine.
like to reference it a lot.
All right. So yeah, that's not really relevant here. If you want to just make a perception roll to see if there's anything around the farmhouse before you head to the tree.
What's your IQ?
12.
Oh, I think I have a high IQ. Maybe I should do that.
Yeah, you should do it. I don't see anything.
No.
Wow, that's terrible.
Well, yours was
That-
worse than mine.
Yeah.
Actually, I
That,
think you and I got the
that
same.
clinches it. Then there's nothing. We are all positive that there's nothing here. No.
Nope.
You want to check out the tree?
Yeah,
We'll check out the tree. Yeah, we'll head over and see if there's anything unusual. Disturbed earth or anything on the tree itself.
Okay. So you guys are heading to the tree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start there.
When you get there, the strangest thing that you notice is that the tree looks like it's been dead for like a decade, a long time. The leaves are on the ground. They are like, some are red, some are sort of amber color, none are green.
Leaves, just period. That's weird.
Yes, yeah. That is the strangest thing. The leaves looks like this tree died within days.
Do we know what kind of tree it is?
It looks like it was some sort of oak tree.
Okay.
It's like the size of like that my big tree with the huge 3.5 foot trunk. It's a big tree.
Was it split by lightning or anything?
Nope,
It's just a big old gnarly, scary looking tree.
with no leaves on it, and I mean
Dead tree, but leaves on the ground.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I'll try casting analyze
and
magic
all
on
the
this.
thin leaves, all the thin twigs that would have had, they all fell.
I'm going to try casting analyze magic on this.
Okay.
Is there anything I can do to up my chances?
I'm gonna can lend you anything.
You can spend experience point on the skill.
I was gonna lend you something.
I failed.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 17.
Oh, that's not good at all.
Oh,
What's your
that's
skill
not
level?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
13.
you need to let me know when you roll a 17 or an 18,
Oh, okay.
or a 3 or a 4.
Oh, okay. So my skill level with analyzing magic is 13.
And you rolled a 17.
I rolled a 17.
Okay.
So
Take your 1 extra point of fatigue that you will lose for that. And I'm going to roll on the table.
Ooh,
Because I know there is one.
there is.
There's a spell failure table. Don't remember which book it is in.
Might be in the magic book.
It could. You know what? It probably is.
What do you need to look at? I'm
Spell
holding magic.
failure table.
The critical failure table.
Is it called spell or is it called critical?
Critical failure. It should be in the. Is there an index? I don't know if this book has an index. It doesn't, so it's probably near the front if it's in here.
Did you find it?
Let me know when you find it.
Oh, okay. Because, yeah,
not
I'm in a
numbered.
real hurry to find out what happened to me. There isn't one, Stu. You just get to make it up. No, I've got a happy fun failure table. Critical hit, critical miss table is 556. Critical misses table is 556 to 557. So that's in
That's in book 2.
That's in book 2. And I'm
Oh, that's
assuming
probably near the end of book 2. Yeah, 5. Yeah, it is. Oh, it's in the
critical fail spells 236.
236 in the regular book.
236 in the regular book. There it is.
There we go. I'm in the area. 230.
There it is in this orange box. Critical fail failure. So, do you want me to roll it, or do you get to roll it?
Go ahead. Roll 3d6.
I rolled a pure 18.
Wow.
That just totally changed this adventure
Spell
in so many amazing ways.
fails entirely.
A demon or other malign entity appropriate to the setting appears and attacks the caster. The GM may waive this result if, in his opinion, the caster and the spell were both lily-white, pure, good intent. Which I will agree that these are. This is a. Is it lily-white because you were doing this? You're bartering. So it's not just purely altruistic.
No, I'm just trying to figure out what was going on. This was done clearly out of curiosity and not out of any malicious intent.
No, it's
at all.
not malicious. No, it's not.
I mean, this isn't like I was casting Fireball. This is just
No.
an identify spell. I
It's-
just wanted to know what was going on.
Okay.
There it is. It's right here.
I know.
18.
I don't doubt it for a second. All right. So
the ghost appears.
no,
Something
that would be
appears.
too well.
Something malign appears.
Okay. Underneath this tree, kind of scattered under the leaves, you see that where someone had put like set up a stone. It's not a gravestone, but it's a marker someone put there. You can kind of see that thing is there, and as you're sort of like casting your spell to see what you were trying to cast, what, detect magic?
Analyze
magic.
magic. Just to figure out if this thing even had any magic in it.
That stone falls over,
Oh, look at that.
and the ground is kind of shaking a little bit.
Ooh.
Oh God!
Okay.
Back up, everyone.
Raise
Back
the
up.
crossbow.
Back up.
Okay, and the tree, and this is, I mean, the trunk of this tree is huge. It starts kind of like slouching, like it's kind of like starting to like teeter over, and you can see like on the ground, because you can see like some of the root system is visible. It's what's like erosion causes it. You can kind of see some of the roots are actually kind of sinking, and as they're sinking, coming up from the ground through these leaves, you can see that what looks like a extremely black liquid, like almost like crude oil. It's like that pitch
Up from
black.
the ground came a bubbling crude.
Right. And it kind of starts kind of seeping up, like all around underneath the canopy of where this tree had been, as the tree is starting to slowly
All right,
kind of
guys,
fall.
and I don't mean this to be alarmist or anything, right? Run! And we take off back down the road.
Now, are we taking off away from the house
Yes!
or towards the
As
house?
we have to go past the house on our way, but we keep going.
Okay,
Don't
all right.
stop.
Okay, and you run, and you keep
Follow
running.
the advice, yeah.
And you know something went wrong. You know this has something to do with
Right.
your spell in some way, but
I want to get about 50 feet away or something, and then we'll
you
stop.
probably fucked up magic before.
Yeah, I know.
But you probably fucked it up big before. But this is like, there's something else going on here.
So when we get about 50 or 60 feet away, I'm going to stop and look.
Well, I ask about the house because we could potentially hide behind it. So do we want to do that? Or do we want to just bolt, like...
I want to see what's coming at us because I don't really have anything that can attack it, and if
Okay.
this thing is incredibly magical, I don't know what we can do about it. Have you got anything?
Nah.
Okay. So let's see what this thing is that we just unleashed on the town of Brew.
Okay, all right, fair.
We may actually have to
I
try
don't
to
know
stop
if
it.
any of
Sure.
my spells can be used.
Then,
my limiting spells
yeah,
can be used.
I say we
inanimate
run to
objects.
the house, put a back to it, just kind of like peek through the ruins.
I
if we can.
screwed that spell up, and it's been my experience that usually whatever happens to me. So whatever this thing is, it's going to come for me.
Okay,
If there's a thing.
all right.
I'm assuming it's the ghost.
Okay. You turn around, and the tree is like almost completely gone. It's like sinking into.
Sinking into the ground.
Yeah, it's like kind of fell. Looks like it
collapsing
fell
in
over,
there,
and it's
yeah.
like now it's sinking into this.
Now it's noon. right?
Whatever
It's still
space
bright,
underneath is
sunny
being
out.
emptied out, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And you can kind of see the stuff is now starting to seep up from the ground in that area, but like underneath where you are right now, you can kind of. Well, both of you make like perception rolls and add your magery.
Made it.
Oh shit!
I'm fine.
That's a critical success.
Yes, it is. What is yours? Oh, that is not a
Not
critical
a
success,
critical
but it's just a
success.
regular
It's just an
success.
average roll.
Okay, there's some like something real dark happening.
She's to her.
No, I'm telling you.
Oh.
Hers is going to be much more detailed.
Oh, okay.
There's something very dark happening here that has to do with magic, and it's like bad, the bad kind of magic.
Bad magic.
Like a summoning spell or a demon or
Shit
something.
you don't fuck with.
Something was bound to the tree and
Yeah,
now I've let it
it's
loose.
bad.
Yeah.
You can sense, because you rolled a 4, someone has tapped into a source of power.
Like a ley line.
kind of, but this is like, you can tell that this is emanating from far away, and you think it's probably emanating from Amana. You think this may have something to do with what you guys are investigating.
Oh.
Huh.
Because your character doesn't know anything about this, like dark magic like this, but creating a wide spanning effect like this would probably take something like the blood of a monarch to make it come around. This is all. What's happening here is connected with what you guys are investigating. You're almost certain of this now. Okay. And it's magic, but it's not a flavor of magic you guys are used to. This is like not. This isn't. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to learn how to do a spell. I'm going to do a spell.
Some deep, dark, blood magic.
This is like
shit.
I'm going to summon a demon to give me powers, and it's going to take something from me. Right. This is like wheeling and dealing with shit you don't deal with. Okay, that is what you're sensing.
I relay all that.
And it is, whatever it is extremely powerful. You can sense the magic. There's certain areas of the continent where that are more magical than other areas, and if your character is well traveled,
Yes.
you've probably been, because in game mechanic terms, there's mana levels. Like this world is at normal mana, which means your spells work normally, everything works normally. You have low mana areas, which it's like neg 4, neg 5 to cast spells,
right?
And it costs more energy, and they don't recharge.
Right.
But there's also high mana areas where, like, it doesn't. You can cast magic for free. It doesn't cost you any fatigue to do it. It's just you just pull the energy out of the air, right? This area is becoming that like a high mana area, but not for the kind of magic you do.
Right.
And you can tell that you're on that what you're seeing is on the outskirts of that. It's like whatever you did brought to the surface something bigger and badder than what's just happening here.
Just a simple
Well,
analyze.
Phade, you got us into quite a pickle here.
It's just a simple analyze. I just wanted to know if magic was being cast here. I had no idea.
Magic's being cast here now, apparently.
And the answer to that question is yes.
Just wanted to know if it was magical or not.
It was really just a simple question.
Whether we
You
were
need to
dealing-
go and call that.
What's happening here?
I don't know. It's not good.
Kind of calm our voice for a little bit. I'll from behind the house where I have my back to the wall. I'm going to peek around. So what do I see? I mean, everything is roiling, rumbling. Do I see masses coming out? Do I see something sniffing around for us?
It looks like this area around this tree, and it's quite a big area. I mean, it's probably 100 yards, 200 yards in diameter.
Uh-huh.
It's turning into a pitch black lake. And it's stuff. And there's other trees and things that are sinking into this, and it's coming up. But it was like right behind you when you guys first started running, and now it's slowing.
It's subdued a little, or it's
Sort of like a natural bowl or something, and it's collecting in, or is it?
No, it seems like whatever earth or anything or rock that's on is sinking into this.
Okay.
Like it's being displaced. Liquefaction.
Right.
Okay.
Earthquake speak. That's kind of what it's like. This stuff is bubbling up and it's creating a lake, and the space it's taking from the ground is being filled by the dirt.
Got it. But nothing's coming out of it. I'm going to peek around too.
And both of you you have a bad sense. Your major is like going beep 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 beep, like it's going off. This is not good. This is not good shit.
Okay, but it is slowing, you said, because I was going to
Yes.
try casting Hinder on it, but it seems like it's sorting itself out.
It is slowing.
Okay.
All I can say is, whatever is going on, it took one little spell to tip it over. I mean, this was primed, ready to pop,
Ready to blow.
like a blister. And maybe that's exactly what it is. It's a magical blister on the land. And This is like a weak spot. Because whatever was in this tree weakened the forces between earth and magic here, and I managed to pop that blister just enough. Is that about right? I know. It's
Writing
gross.
down pop
Yes.
the magical blister.
On the palm of the world.
Magical blister.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're not like our lives are not imminently threatened. Like again, nothing's coming after us. This is bad for the world. Obviously we can tell pretty easily, but again, nothing's.
Maybe. I don't know how far it goes. And the other thing that's concerned to me is that Mr. Green Wizard staff thing might be very aware of the fact that
Something popped that blister.
Right.
So to speak.
Yeah, that message might have gone out there.
Okay. All right.
There's the critical failure part of the failure, right there.
You know how you didn't want us to let a lot of people know what we were up to? I think they might know now.
Here's the thing, Here's the thing, though. We might be able to use this to our advantage because he's going to come out and check it out.
Maybe.
Oh, he will. If this is what I think it is, and he's been tapped into this, he's going to want to know where this thin spot is, and he's going to come and check it out and find out A, why, and B, if he can use it. So we might be able to use this to our advantage, but I don't know how much time we have.
Yeah. Do we want to hunker down? Do we want to go back to town? Warn people. At least warn the farmsteads around the area that you maybe should vacate the premises. Pack up your goods and get your families out of here.
Here's what I'm thinking. It's probably going to be a bit before he realizes where this is and what's happening. Mm-hmm. That's going to take some power and things. Mm-hmm. He's very good at gating, so getting out here probably isn't going to be that big a deal.
Right.
But I figure we have maybe either a couple hours or maybe a day, because he might want to prepare because he doesn't know what's happening. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know. He might pop up any minute now just to see what's going on. So at most, I think we have a day. At least, I think we have a couple hours. This is all conjecture. You may not even know.
Well, if we're going to take him on, and by the way, neither one of us is really equipped to do
No.
that. It'd be good to do it here in the open and not get other people in line of danger.
I was really hoping Dale and his misfired arrows would be here to help.
Yeah.
I can slow him down, but...
Because I can tell from personal experience that arrows and magic is rough. Especially
It's rough. Yeah.
Besides, you could really use an arrow through the neck right now.
Yeah.
I'll fix you up again.
I wonder if this rolling on the critical failure table is going to be happening once every session.
I don't know.
2 for 3.
And not only did he have to roll on the table, he rolled the worst possible thing you could
absolutely,
roll on the
yeah,
table.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the amazing part.
Yep.
I rolled a 17 and then an 18. It's like
Yep.
if I was rolling up
It wasn't bad enough.
if I was rolling up a D&D character, he'd be awesome.
It'd be great. Yeah.
That would probably be Constitution and Charisma.
Yeah, right. Charisma and wisdom.
Okay, so yeah, do we want to hang around? Do we want to stick around here? Do we want to bolt? Do we want to
If
again?
nothing else, I think we should stick around and see who shows up or what shows
Okay,
up.
all right.
He may not. He might send himself. He might. But I have a feeling he's going to want to come and check this out. Because if this is a thinning spot between worlds, he might should have been set up base here because it might actually be easier for him to tap what he's trying to tap into from here than it would be from where he was.
Okay. If we're gonna do that, then I'll find a spot where I can, just maybe like an old window or something that in the house that I can kind of like set behind and keep an eye on, mount my crossbow somewhere.
Okay.
Ready to fire a shot in case something happens in there.
I got nothing. I have nothing. Maybe I can spend those 5 experience points I have.
We're supposed to spend it on
And
stuff
do we have
that
enough
you've
time
used.
to level up? No.
Well, I've been studying some stuff. That just happened.
Okay, all right.
Even apportation would be handy. Like if I need to
Apportation's a great way to.
It totally is.
It's a great murder spell too.
Well,
It takes a minute,
That's fine.
but it keeps them out of combat because
Yeah.
they're floating straight up in the air for a minute.
Or you can pull staffs away from them.
Oh yeah. Well, you gotta. Yeah, maybe
Contest of
strength or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, some gnarly old 90-year-old wizard and yeah. Yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah,
You want to hang out?
Everything I have, he needs to be here.
Yeah, if,
so
I'm counting on the two of you to be able to deal with anything magical. So, but I'll,
Do you have a bow or
follow
anything?
you. I got my crossbow already aimed at that general area. So if anything appears there that I have to shoot, it's shot.
Can we make fire with those? Because I don't think anything's going to burn around here, so I don't think we have to worry too
I
much
think I
about
can manage that, and I start taking my oil flask. I start soaking my bolts in them just in case.
Give us an advantage.
Sure, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll soak. I have my, I'll soak some bolts in oil. If somebody can just light a fire on them.
I'm going to get my bolos ready. Because
Okay.
if I'm lucky and I roll correctly, I might actually be able to incapacitate him.
Whatever it is that, that
whatever
appears.
shows
Yeah,
up.
sure, okay. All right.
So we're going to. We need. How long will it take us to get back to town? So if we hang out.
If you were to leave right now, you'd be back by nightfall.
Yeah. You guys think about this all life. Go think about this somewhere else. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're about as ready as we can be to deal with the situation.
yeah, I'm not wild about putting other people in danger, particularly since this is his mess that he created. So innocents shouldn't have to suffer because of us.
Okay. After about 20, 30 minutes, you can see in the middle of it, it starts kind of bubbling. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, you can start to see kind of on the opposite side of the sort of lake that it created, you can start to see that there's some sort of form kind of crawling out.
Okay.
Because it's because let me just kind of lay this out for you. There's a farmhouse, right? And then north of the farmhouse is that tree. So this new pitch black lake is probably 50 yards away from the ruined farmhouse.
Okay.
And it's probably another 100 yards of lake.
Okay, gotcha.
So this thing is
About 50 yards.
150 yards away from you.
Okay.
And it looks like, but it's a form. It looks slightly around human size. It's very far. It's hard to see.
And you said it's crawling, right?
It looks like it's crawling out of the
Okay.
out of the water.
Away from where we are, like if it were a
The
human
far
being-
end of the
far
lake,
end,
yeah.
Okay.
Yes. James views it. Well, that was a short campaign.
Quite possibly.
I'm going to aim my crossbow at it.
Okay.
What's your range?
That's a good question.
impressive
Probably not that far, but still,
It's
range is
you-
times 20/25. So.
Oops.
But I mean, I'm not gonna go and walk. I'm not gonna walk out there and get its attention or anything at this
Right.
point.
Where is it?
What is it?
Oh, there's a figure.
A
Form
vaguely
is
humanoid figure,
crawling
a
out on the
human-
far end of the
yeah,
lake,
human-sized figure that's crawling out of the black goop.
which is 150 yards from where we are.
But it hasn't seen us, right? We're still
It doesn't look like it. I don't think so.
Let's
I don't
just
think so.
wait.
And again, crawling. So
Let's just wait and see what it is.
sure. Yeah.
Let's see if it gets closer.
Again, I got my crossbow aimed.
How long did it take for this thing to come out? Was it hours?
What did I say?
It was
20 minutes?
yeah, not
Something?
long.
Is that enough to get a fatigue point back? No, it wouldn't.
I don't know if you're resting. I don't know if you're in a
might
like
be
a
We're not
good
resting.
spot to be
situation
resting right now.
for yeah.
Fair enough. Stupid question anyway.
Shit, I can't even cast anything. Like, almost none of my spells are useful at range. I have to be really close.
If they're regular spells, you're at a huge.
I have to
penalty.
touch for almost all of them except
Yeah.
for one. Oh, never mind. I got nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Great, we're doing so well.
Okay, after about the thing kind of crawls out and it just kind of lays there for a while, and then after like 5 to 10 minutes, it starts looks like it's kind of sitting up, and then it kind of stands up.
Is it a tall, lanky teenager?
No, it looks like it's maybe. It's hard to tell. It's 150 yards away. So, as far it looks like it looks short and squat, and looks rather muscular from this distance.
Normal human number of appendages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No tails, horns. Maybe.
Can I cast a keen...
It's a little hard to tell if it has any horns. Probably not. Tail is hard to tell right now.
Okay. All right.
Is this a demon?
This does not look like a person. I mean, it looks like it's made out of the same
Same black
stuff.
goop?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like pitch black.
Made out of lake stuff.
And then it starts walking north.
Away
us.
from us.
Oh, problem solved.
Whew! That was a close
Dodge that bullet.
And I, being completely incurious, are like, nope.
And it's probably like that tall. And it's very far away.
From our viewpoint.
And you
right?
see it sink back into the ground.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And then you see like what looks like another lake is starting to sort of
Where it sank into the ground.
yeah.
Phade, what are we looking at here?
I don't know. I have no idea. This is way beyond me just casting, like... I just cast little analyze spells, like find food and analyze magic. This is way out of my
It's like
league.
you could heal this, right?
Heal the lake?
Sure. You're a healer. It's like healing the earth, right?
I don't know.
It's...
I don't think it works like that.
Okay, well, we think maybe this is a good opportunity for us to head back to the Citadel and let people know something's happened. This is outside of my pay grade.
Me too!
We should go get some
This
help.
is outside of my range of expertise.
Great healing. It restores all of the Earth's missing HP. I'm not sure I can do that.
I think casting a spell on a planet might kill your character. That's a lot of fatigue.
You have to spend a lot of reallocate points to your fatigue.
I don't think I'm going to try that. It doesn't seem like a good idea.
Ugh, okay, all right.
So when you say another, so is it traveling by
It walked.
working? It walked and it sank into the earth, and then
You
is
see
another
It's
like
creating another little...
yeah, you can see like
Cool.
trees are starting to fall. And,
okay. So it's creating the lake where it has sunk into the
Yes.
earth. I'm just wondering if it's going to like keep leapfrogging.
Well, I was about
Yeah.
to say.
Okay.
More things
After
are gonna pop out.
if you guys are still sitting out there watching it, you see another sort of form emerge from the first lake and start heading off in another direction.
Oh, no,
And then you see
more.
from the second lake, you see something else get up and start heading out.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do here.
We've done all we can do here.
Job is done.
That's a good day's work.
Yeah. You know who could take care of this? Dale. Dale's got a solution for this.
Nobody has a solution for
As
this.
soon as he comes back from hunting, we take him up here. No,
Ooh, ooh!
no.
Maybe I can try those healing mushrooms and throw them into the lake.
in the water.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Okay, yeah, I think it's
This
time to
guy-
head. I think it's time to head
this guy.
south.
Okay.
Yeah. So do.
Here's what I think. Here's what I
Yeah.
think just happened. I think I'm just casting and analyze. That's all I was doing. It's like the most innocuous spell, close to like finding food. I think I opened up the gateway between this realm and the demon realm, wherever it was very thin. For whatever reason, perhaps this legend of this ghost is actually real, and the veil between this realm and that realm was so thin here that me casting one spell on it was enough for it to break open. That's what I suspect happened. Now, I'm concerned about the ramifications of that, because whatever is doing this, and whatever that black gook is, I don't know, is not good.
It's definitely not good.
If I had access to the library, I might be able to go and research it, but that's going to take me days or weeks to get there, find it, and come back, and by then, what?
You know. Well,
You said it was over here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm over here,
Yeah.
So
I
Well, you have a quick way to get back to the capital.
we do.
which is like down here.
Yeah.
So it's still
A couple days.
But also, yeah, again, this may be something worth telling somebody about.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think so. I think we.
The question
I think we
is-
abandon Dale and just leave him here,
okay.
and we go through the mirror.
The question is, yeah, who?
Do that.
Do we want to go back
I'll
to the
figure out
Citadel?
how
Do
to get
think-
you all back
Do
together.
you think, like, Amana is a better place to go to for this kind of thing? Or do
Well,
we
we
want to
gotta
go
get
back
our
to home,
stuff
our
back
home
here.
territory?
Well, I don't think we can go back to home territory yet. We came here to do a job. Can I send a message to the
Priorities have
order?
changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Okay.
No. Yeah, probably not. I mean, if you were to get to some place where what your people are, like to a city, probably, but out here in
Okay. Not in the States.
Podunkville,
Either way, we need help. I'm out. It's out of my league. It's out of her league. It's out of most people's leagues. I even think whoever, Mr. Greenstaff, it might even be out of his league because I don't think it's an uncontrolled runaway experiment right now.
Well, now we've got these golems coming out and walking around, and we
Right.
put all these people into danger.
Right.
And that's just not a nice
I
thing
know.
to do.
But I mean, we could tell the town to evacuate. They're not going to believe us, but we
Mm-hmm.
can try. We could either go to Amana and see if we can find help there, or we can go back to the capital and tell Dostemir
Very good. Look at you.
that.
now that you might need him, now you can remember his freaking name.
Or do your mage houses have, like, presences down here?
Yeah,
out
well,
I was if you go to
Yeah.
Amana, probably
here? Yeah,
so.
yeah. I think, I mean, would it be...
There might even be people in Coho Smirt who might be.
We have to go through there. We might as well
Yeah.
try.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It might be faster for us to get there instead of trying to trek all the way up that mountain.
And in Coho Smirt, at least like the Baron there is going to have like a skipping mirror or something.
Oh, really?
Okay.
They're around.
Oh, I did
They're
not
around.
know that. I
Yeah.
thought this was like an artifact because my resources have it from artifact. Like
Well, yeah.
one only.
In 10,000 years, it will be a mysterious artifact,
Right.
and no one knows how they work. Right.
Okay. That's good to know.
Okay.
Yeah, they're around. This is a known method of transportation. It's basically only used by mages, extremely rich people in the nobility, but it is used. In that realm, it's commonplace.
We should just go tell Kaj that things are definitely bad up there and that he needs to back up
Start
and leave.
start telling the other households.
Yeah,
And
so
we're
we're
gonna-
like huffing it like
Right.
past every farmhouse going,
Right.
oh, sorry, we ruined the world.
No,
Really,
we
Mrs.
don't have to
Tim?
tell them exactly how.
Yeah, we don't know what the details are.
Let's get into who did what when.
There's
killed
some weird
who?
stuff happening up there. It'd be best for you and your families to
That's
just
fine.
vacate the area.
It's a long walk. You can come up with a good story.
Yeah, there you go. It's like,
We got up there. It's a lot worse than we thought. We came back down.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
just
know what
found it.
happened.
I don't know.
no idea
And
whose
that's
end it
not-
was.
And that's not really a lie because I don't know what happened.
You still don't know
Your
what
spell
happened.
never went off to find out.
I suspect that this is, like I said, a very supernatural hotspot, and it has been for centuries. And all it took was one little, and it opened up the world. Right? Doesn't that sound like good sense? Makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
All right. So we're warning everybody on our way back. We have to go get our stuff at the tavern.
Right.
Okay, yeah, we gotta go back through.
Tell Chamomile.
We'll leave a note for Dale. Had to leave without you.
Well, maybe we can find him on our way out of town.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. At this point,
Just end the-
yeah, it might. This was going to be a kind of a shortish adventure anyway.
It's supposed to be a ghost story.
Yeah,
I ruined it.
It's pretty terrifying, if you ask me, honestly.
I'm shocked. Stork's dice
I'm pretty terrified.
changed the entire course of the
Instead of
adventure
finding
yet again.
Instead of finding a friendly child ghost, we summoned an elder god. Yeah, why not?
Sure, yeah, now the land is being consumed by odd creatures that
Yeah.
replicate throughout the...
We went from sad Scooby-Doo ghost to, yeah.
now the ghost
Tunes
has a
of
lot more to
9/11
worry
then.
about.
So you make it back to. It's not Ob.
To through.
Kaj.
Kodge. You make it back to
yeah.
Kodge's place. He's sitting out on his porch, enjoying a cup of ale.
Not for long.
Kaj, you were right. When you said that tree was bad, it's
was
really
bad.
bad. There's a lake here. You need to pack up your stuff and you need to head into town whatever was happening up there is bad. We're going to head back down, and we're going to go tell Ged that it's just as bad. But you guys need to go.
Bad.
Oh, well, I probably should tell my neighbors then
Yep.
too.
Yes,
Yep,
please.
yes.
That's a great
Spread
idea.
the word.
All right.
Very dangerous.
We're not talking. In fact, we need to get going.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. As you run off, I say, savor that ale in every minute that you are alive.
Oh boy. All right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I better get my coat.
Looks like we got another one of their apocalypses.
Or, it's always happening here. Another apocalypse. There are apocalypses.
It's about that generation, yeah?
Okay.
You read the chat?
Phade must be the most powerful wizard on the planet. He summoned an elder god with a detect magic spell effectively.
Exactly what happened.
Oh,
Exactly
Lord,
what happened.
yeah.
You don't know
Only
your
me.
own strength.
Only me. The simple detect magic spell.
Right.
Boom.
That one time you turned a bag of holding inside out.
Right. And you end up, sucking the entire world into a black
Ripping a
hole.
hole in the universe.
Right?
Right. Okay, and then you also go by
Gad.
Gad's place and let him know. and-
Yeah. I go back into town,
Okay.
tell the tavern, and really.
Chamomile is like sees you and is like, "Oh, did you figure it out?"
No, not exactly. But whatever it is bad. Really, really, really bad. You guys might want to pack up and maybe get
Flee,
ready
yeah.
for the worst. If maybe we're headed down to
Smart.
yeah. I recommend that you guys maybe accompany us. You got any
Yeah.
relatives in Iconosburg?
You're talking to Ged, or you're talking? No, you're talking to
Chamomile.
Chamomile.
Yeah, we're talking to
So,
Chamomile at this point.
yeah, I have some
you
cousins.
you should probably go
Yeah.
visit them for a little while.
I'd avoid the north, by the way.
I tell her about the
Stay
red
away
lizards.
from the north as you can.
How bad? How bad is it?
It looks pretty scary out there. Yeah.
Imagine life as you know it ceasing to exist, and then doubling it.
And every atom in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Just think about being tortured by unnameable, unfathomable objects for all eternity, and that will be close.
Oh dear.
We don't really know that. Remember, I have no artifice whatsoever.
Well. Whew.
You probably have a couple of hours, days, probably a couple of days.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's a shame.
How far away are we really? It's like 5 miles or something?
Probably something like that. Yeah. It's nightfall by the time you get back.
Yeah. So it's probably...
We're going to travel at night?
No.
We're not going to. We're going to.
Okay, I
can't
mean, if
sleep.
y'all think we have the time to... We can afford to not travel
I
at
think we
night.
have time now.
I
'cause
mean,
Okay.
we
That's fair.
can say at this point that Dale is back from his foraging. The party is united.
Hey, how'd
and
you
you
guys
are
do?
heading to.
How'd you all make
Yes.
out? Look,
Okay.
I found rabbits.
Is this a good? This is
yeah.
We'll
sure.
stop.
right. This is exactly how I perceive. Not this specific story, but the sorts of things that you guys would pull. Exactly.
It was a detect magic
No
spell.
offense.
How we knock? How much more?
Things are a lot worse here than we thought they were.
Oh, boy.
And we had nothing to do with
Yeah, you guys got a real problem on your hands here.
Oh
it. Yeah.
This is like when you call the plumber, right? It's just for a plugged up drain. It's like, oh, you guys got to redo the entire plumbing system. You got a real problem on your hands here.
So let's go ahead and end it. So thank you for joining us for the session 3. And tune in 2 weeks to find out if they decide to pay Chamomile Blackstone for the free night in the rooms.
It's not really going to matter because in a couple
Because
of
if
days,
you were bartering...
We did find out that the goats were bloodless, so we found out what killed them.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
Yeah. And
Technically,
and at
sure.
this point, I don't know how much value money is going to have for very
like, where
long.
is that?
I don't know if we should be paying rent on a place that isn't going to be here in 5 days.
Yeah, this is what I'm getting at.
All right. All right, well, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Enough time it takes to summon an elder god.
Yeah.
Bye.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
If I told you the things I've seen on my ways, if I told you the things I've done in my days, you wouldn't believe me anyway. So it's best I just don't say. I've lived 1,000 lives.